When uncertainty arrives at our door and choices seem to be so limited, life is probably demanding change. Situations like this appear way more often than we think. But our conditioning to live the most convenient life and to think more is always better has damaged our receptivity for change. It is fascinating to observe the brilliance of nature, that how everything in this universe is endlessly functioning with all this uncertainty, and still it somehow manages to create this amazingly beautiful phenomena we call life. In spite of their very complex and diverse nature, all of this are surprisingly happening within the system. All of this carry a certain amount of discipline. And because of that, in all these years, life has only evolved. Imagine just for a second, what if the sun, moon, earth and everything which creates this very life decides to break their discipline? Life will not happen the way it's happening right now. If discipline is that powerful, then why are most of us so ignorant about it? Maybe because we think that discipline or self-discipline gets in the way of living and takes away all our conveniences and traps us to do things we do not love. Well, that's not true, because the very idea of self-discipline starts with self-awareness. We all know that there are countless numbers of external and internal things which can easily distract us. And if we are not mindful about that, all those distractions can entangle us into distortions which will keep us away from our true self. But something within us always strives to go beyond all those distractions. Being self-aware means I'm looking at myself without any distortion. I'm accepting myself the way I am. And for that to happen, we just need to pay more attention to ourselves. Because the moment you will touch yourself in your perception, the way you see yourself and the way you see the world around you will completely change. And this very change will lead you to change the way you live. That's where self-discipline comes in. Once you can clearly see what you truly care for, what you are passionate about, and what you love, you will naturally start to discipline your life for people and things you love. We often see self-discipline as a tool which only helps us to reach our goals. But in reality, it's a tool which helps us to break our rigidity, one action at a time. Being self-disciplined means we are choosing our actions and performing those actions. It means we are moving from being unconscious to conscious. On the surface, self-discipline looks like a rigid path where our everyday life is planned and performed with certainty. But only when we choose to go deeper, we realize that in spite of all the uncertain events that happen every other day, we are just keeping our actions certain. Because eventually, we become the master of what we practice. Practicing conscious actions makes us happily peaceful. Hence, we become more flexible in the way we handle our thoughts, emotions, mind, body, time, focus, relations, and just about anything. Self-discipline is a way of living where we constantly find ourselves at a huge risk. We face greater challenges each day. We feel discomfort more often. And through all of this, we constantly break our own limitations. If we can keep breaking our own limitations while being in a limitation, it means we are evolving. Because life has always been uncertain and situations unfavorable. We may never know what is coming next, but with self-awareness and self-discipline, at least we know that we are ready for change.